All right, folks, we are finally getting into this mystery item. This fabric was thrifted over a year ago. It is a fitted sheet, and we are going to turn it into a top. I'm using a Simplicity pattern, number 1538. It's a collared button-up shirt, and I'm making some little adjustments as I go. I was initially drawn to this print because of the bright colors and this black and white stripe that we see going down the middle. It feels very tribal to me, and we know I love that. The stripes are going vertically, but I am turning my pattern diagonally. There are a couple of reasons why. Number one, because I think it would make for a more interesting top. Instead of having the stripes go straight down my body or across my body, which would not be good. It would make me look wider, especially in the bust area. Having a diagonal or a chevron print is what we're going for. Will draw your eye in towards the waist and then out towards the hip. Now it does take me a little bit longer to do this because I cut each piece individually because I want to make sure that I have the stripes lined up. If I were using a solid fabric, it wouldn't really matter. Whenever I'm cutting anything on the bias or the diagonal, I have to do it this way. It's just the way my brain works. And then as you can see, it lines up very nicely when we get this chevron pattern. We open it up and the pieces mirror each other. The other reason I cut it on the diagonal is because it gives it just a little bit of stretch. This is 100% cotton. There is no stretch in it. When you cut a garment on the bias, you just get just a little bit of a give, which always falls very nicely in, especially your softer fabrics, your satins and silks. It just hugs the body so nicely. I like this fabric. It did give me the idea of creating my own textile. Now, I've done patchwork things before where I'm taking scraps from other projects, little squares, and putting them together and making bags and pants and all that stuff. But I have never intentionally chosen two fabrics and put them together. Looking at this, I feel like I could do that with a black and white and then some other bold color and make a really nice print. It's been a while since I've been in a fabric store and felt like, oh my goodness, I just love this fabric. I have to have it. So more and more, I'm finding myself wanting to make my own. Another reason why I'm doing a top is because it's difficult for me to find tops when I'm in the store. Now, while this print might be too much for some people, I find that when I'm in the store and everything is ruffly and fluffy and gathered and laced out and blinged out, I am repulsed. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they just don't speak to me, so all the more reason to keep making my own clothes. So you may have noticed that this fabric was a little bit faded. The sheet was very well loved, I'm assuming, and for good reason. It was very faded in the middle, I guess where someone would have been sleeping. The edges kept their color. And so I just kind of maneuvered around that. I chose the edges for the center front of the shirt where you're most likely to be looking. And then the faded areas ended up under the arm and under the collar. Not a big deal to me. It gives the shirt more character. I am not going to go out into the world and see anyone with this shirt. And I like that. Another thing that has been on my mind lately is last year when I was teaching some sewing classes with Sew with Self Academy. One of the lectures that I had to give was about textiles. And it went into great detail about natural fibers and synthetic fibers. It has really been on my mind a lot, especially when thrifting. Read the contents and know what I am buying. polyesters and lycra and all of those plastic fabrics are not good for our environment or our bodies. We know because of fast fashion how quickly they are trying to produce and keep us spending money and keep us on trend. They make them fast and cheap, and it's very easy for them to use, oil and plastic to make these fabrics, and then we buy them and next season we don't wear them. Let's just be more mindful. Let's buy better quality fabrics that will last us a little bit longer. It does take a little bit more time when it comes to care. It typically costs a little more, another reason to make your clothes. But in the long run, it's so much better for our bodies. Just something to be mindful of. The sewing part of this video was pretty straightforward. That's why it's not a tutorial. I didn't feel the need to explain to you how to put together a shirt. If you have any sewing experience and you have used a pattern, then this is all, pretty basic to you. But I thought it was worth documenting because of the fabric. So if you have any questions, let me know. Put it in the comments below. I'm pretty good at responding. And now we are going to take a look at my lovely new button-up shirt. So this is the completed top. 100% cotton, upcycled from a sheet. I feel like I can't really say upcycled from a sheet. It was already a big piece of flat fabric. I spent all day yesterday fighting buttonholes. Didn't want to do buttonholes because I felt like it would take forever. I looked at zippers, snaps, hook and eyes. None of that worked. I settled on buttons. Then I dug through all of my buttons because I didn't want to go to the store to buy buttons. I had white buttons. They were too white. I had these black ones, which I feel might be a little too black. Also, they're off-centered, so that's a design flaw for me. Then I thought I could have done the buttons on the inside, so that the flaps meet up and the buttonhole would have been here, button inside, but it was too late. I had already started making the buttonholes. And then I also thought I could go back and switch these out for a covered button because I still have more of this fabric, and just do like a really small covered button, which I think I will like. But I wore it to church like this today. I just like what's happening here. All the stripes on the sheet were going straight. I cut everything on the bias so that we get this chevron pattern all over the top. And I really like it. I styled it with these wide leg corduroy pants, brown Steve Madden sneakers. So two more items to complete our list here. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. I typically don't like collar shirts, but this one I like. I like this little opening. I like that it's not like, although that's really cute, but not on me. So, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? You feel me?